Stop buying expensive hair serums. Every single day, your scalp loses another 80 to 100 follicles that slip into permanent shutdown. But here is the shocking truth nobody is telling you. Most of those follicles aren't dead. They are just starving, trapped under microscopic scar tissue. You still have a narrow window to wake them back up. Today, I am ranking 6 natural remedies that force fresh blood flow back into your scalp. And the number 1 remedy? It is a powerful daily drink sitting in your kitchen right now that reverses hair loss from the inside out. Do this before your follicles die forever. Let me paint you a picture of what's happening inside your scalp right now. After age 50, blood flow to your hair follicles drops by roughly 40%. There is a microscopic structure at the base of every single hair called the dermal papilla. Think of it as the engine room. It feeds the root. It signals growth. It keeps each strand alive. When blood flow drops, that engine starves. Oxygen cannot reach the root. Dead cells and toxins build up. The growth cycle stalls. And then the real silent killer sets in: follicular fibrosis. Microscopic scar tissue slowly wraps around each starved follicle like a tight knot. You can't see it. You can't feel it. But it is there. Tightening. Choking the hair shaft. Every single day. Your doctor will tell you to try minoxidil. Take biotin supplements. Buy expensive thickening shampoos. Sure, those might help the surface look a little better, but they are just treating the symptoms. They are completely ignoring the root cause: your scalp's collapsing blood supply and the silent fibrosis crushing your follicles from the outside in. But here is the truth they don't tell you. This collapse is not inevitable. It is entirely reversible. Certain natural compounds force your body to restore microcirculation to the scalp, not through magic, but through basic, clinically proven physiology. Your body converts specific nutrients into signals that reopen blood flow to those starved follicles. It's called angiogenesis activation. Your body literally building tiny new blood vessels, like reopening supply roads to a neighborhood that has been cut off for years. When this happens, nutrient delivery improves by up to 55% in a single week. The scalp stops feeling tight and papery. Follicular fibrosis begins to soften. The dermal papilla wakes up. That terrifying pattern of widening parts and thinning crowns slows down and then stops. But not all natural remedies are equal. Some are overpriced scams. Some are popular internet trends that actually damage fragile skin. And a few are absolute game changers that cost pennies per serving. I have ranked 6 natural remedies from least effective to most powerful, so you know exactly what to avoid and what actually works. Let's start with a highly hyped oil that might be suffocating your scalp right now. Remedy number 6. Castor oil scalp massage. You have seen this everywhere. Every natural beauty influencer swears by slathering thick, sticky castor oil all over their roots. And there is a tiny bit of truth to the hype. Castor oil is rich in ricinoleic acid, which has mild anti-inflammatory properties. When you massage it in, it coats the hair shaft. It reflects light. It makes your existing hair look thicker and shinier almost instantly. You look in the mirror and think, wow, it's working. But it is an illusion. Here is the biological reality. Castor oil molecules are massive. They are far too large to penetrate the dense scalp tissue and reach the dermal papilla where your follicles are actually starving. Think of it like trying to water a dying plant's roots by painting its leaves. It is surface-level decoration, not cellular reactivation. And it gets worse. If you are over 50 and your scalp is already struggling with reduced circulation and cellular buildup, raw castor oil is actually dangerous. Because it is so intensely thick, it traps dead skin cells and sebum. It suffocates the very pores you are trying to open. People leave it on overnight, wash it out poorly, and end up with inflamed, clogged follicles that shed hair even faster. If you must use it, Mix just 1 or 2 drops into a lighter carrier oil. Apply it strictly to the ends of your hair to prevent split ends, and keep it completely off your scalp. Score: 2 out of 10. It makes existing hair look nice, but it does absolutely nothing to wake up dormant roots. We need something that actually penetrates, which brings us to a viral internet trend that does get inside the hair shaft, but comes with a massive warning label. Remedy number 5, fermented rice water rinse. If you have spent any time looking for natural hair loss solutions online, you have definitely seen the viral videos of women with incredibly long, thick hair swearing by this cloudy liquid. And scientifically, they are not entirely wrong. Fermented rice water is packed with a unique carbohydrate called inositol. This compound is actually fascinating because it penetrates the hair shaft and stays inside even after rinsing. It acts like a microscopic shield, repairing damaged cuticles from the outside and preventing the hair from breaking halfway down. If your hair is snapping off into the sink every time you brush it, this rinse will absolutely help. But here is the massive catch that those viral videos never warn you about. Rice water is incredibly protein-heavy. If you have an aging scalp and thinning hair, soaking your head in dense protein day after day leads to a very real condition called protein overload. When your hair gets overloaded, it loses all its elasticity. Instead of getting softer, your hair becomes rigid, brittle, and snaps like a dry twig. More importantly, repairing the dead hair shaft on the outside does absolutely nothing to fix the dying dermal papilla on the inside. It is like putting a fresh coat of paint on a house with a crumbling foundation. If your ends are splitting, use a diluted rice water rinse maybe once every 2 weeks, but do not expect it to resurrect your dormant roots. Score: 4 out of 10. It protects what you already have, but it will not give you back what you have lost. To actually stop your hair from falling out at the root, we have to talk about hormones. And remedy number 4 does exactly that, though it requires extreme patience. Remedy number 4, saw palmetto extract. We need to talk about hormones for a second. If you are losing hair, specifically around your crown or your hairline, you are likely dealing with a hormone called DHT. DHT is a byproduct of testosterone. For reasons science is still mapping out, as we age, DHT starts attacking our hair follicles. It physically binds to the root, slowly strangling it until the follicle shrinks, weakens, and stops producing hair entirely. Your doctor will usually prescribe heavy medications that block the enzyme creating DHT. They work, but the side effects can sometimes be brutal. Enter saw palmetto. This is a natural extract derived from a small palm plant that clinically inhibits that exact same enzyme, 5-alpha reductase, but with a fraction of the side effects. It essentially builds a biochemical shield around your vulnerable hair roots. But here is the reality check that vitamin companies won't put on their labels. Saw palmetto is not a quick fix. You will not see new hair in a week or even a month. It takes a minimum of 3 to 4 months of consistent daily use, usually around 320 milligrams of a standardized extract, just to stop the excessive shedding. And because it directly alters your hormonal pathways, you absolutely must talk to your doctor before taking it, especially if you are over 50 or dealing with prostate or thyroid issues. Score: 6 out of 10. It is a powerful biological shield, but it is incredibly slow. Stopping the shedding is only half the battle. To actually force those dormant roots back to life, you need to violently reopen that collapsed microcirculation we talked about earlier, and our next remedy does exactly that, right at the source. Remedy number 3, rosemary and pumpkin seed oil micromassage. Rosemary oil exploded in popularity a few years ago. People started calling it a miracle cure. It is not a miracle, but for scalp circulation, the science is absolutely legit. Rosemary contains carnosic acid. Unlike castor oil that just sits on the surface, carnosic acid penetrates deep and actually stimulates angiogenesis in the dermal layer. Your body starts physically building tiny new capillaries surrounding those dormant follicles. You are literally constructing new supply roads to neighborhoods that were cut off. But rosemary alone isn't enough. You need to pair it with pumpkin seed oil. Pumpkin seed oil works through a completely different biological pathway. It inhibits the 5-alpha reductase enzyme locally on your scalp, preventing testosterone from converting into that follicle-killing DHT. A clinical study found that men using pumpkin seed oil saw a 40% increase in hair count over 24 weeks. But the secret is in the application. You cannot just slap this on and go to sleep. You need a micro-massage. Mix exactly 5 drops of pure rosemary essential oil into 1 full tablespoon of pumpkin seed oil. Never put raw essential oil directly on your skin. It will burn your scalp and accelerate hair loss. Warm the mixture between your palms, press firmly into the scalp, and make small circular motions for exactly 4 minutes per zone. This targeted pressure releases fascial tension, that tight, rigid layer of tissue beneath the skin that restricts blood flow. Leave it overnight. Warning: the smell is extremely earthy and strong. Your pillowcase will need washing. But if you are serious about waking up those dormant roots from the outside in, you will tolerate it. Score: 8.5 out of 10. This is incredibly effective topically. But what if you could deliver an even more massive dose of raw building materials straight into the follicle? Our next remedy does exactly that, though it requires a stomach of steel. Remedy number 2. Raw onion juice and coconut milk follicle wake-up. This is the highest natural source of quercetin and sulfur compounds you can possibly put directly on your scalp. Raw onion juice absolutely destroys every other topical remedy when it comes to delivering bioavailable sulfur straight to the hair root. Why does that matter? Because sulfur is the fundamental building block of keratin. Keratin is what your hair is physically made of. Without enough sulfur reaching that starving follicle, your body simply cannot construct a strong, new hair strand. But you cannot just use onion juice alone. When you blend it with full-fat coconut milk, you create a follicle supercharger. The raw onion delivers the sulfur and quercetin into the dermal papilla, while the coconut milk provides lauric acid, which penetrates the skin and hair shaft deeper than almost any other natural fat, acting as the perfect delivery vehicle. Here is the exact protocol. Take 1 medium white onion, blend it, strain the raw juice through a cheesecloth. Mix it immediately with a 1/4 cup of full-fat coconut milk. Apply it to your scalp right then and there. This is critical. The sulfur compounds start to oxidize and lose their medicinal potency within 20 minutes of juicing. You cannot make a batch in advance. Leave it on for exactly 30 minutes, then wash it out thoroughly with a gentle, sulfate-free shampoo. Within 3 to 4 weeks of doing this twice a week, people start reporting tiny new peach fuzz appearing in areas that were completely bare. By week 6, those tiny hairs start to thicken, darken, and anchor into the scalp. So why isn't this number 1? Because of the smell. Raw onion juice on your warm scalp is brutal. It lingers. It gets into your pillowcases and your towels. It is a massive test of your commitment. Score: 9 out of 10. Extremely powerful, but requires intense dedication. But what if you didn't have to deal with the smell? What if the absolute most powerful follicle activator in the world was actually something delicious that you drink every single morning, reversing the fibrosis and restoring your blood flow entirely from the inside out? That brings us to remedy number 1. Remedy number 1. The green tea and ginger scalp circulation tonic. This is the holy grail of follicle reactivation. Everything we have talked about so far has been topical, trying to force nutrients through the thick layers of your skin from the outside. But this combination delivers the highest concentration of scalp-activating compounds directly into your bloodstream, fixing the problem completely from the inside out. One single cup gives you roughly 200 milligrams of EGCG from the green tea and 400 milligrams of gingerols from the fresh ginger root. When you drink this on an empty stomach, your body converts these into powerful anti-inflammatory and vasodilating agents. Here is the exact science of why this destroys every other remedy on this list. EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate, directly inhibits DHT right at the follicle receptor site. It doesn't just slow it down, it physically blocks DHT from latching onto your hair root. Meanwhile, the gingerols in the fresh ginger force open the collapsed microcapillaries surrounding your dormant follicles. Clinical studies using Doppler ultrasound imaging prove that scalp blood flow increases by 35% to 45% within just 2 hours of drinking this tonic. You are literally flushing your starving follicles with fresh oxygen and nutrients. People report feeling a warm, gentle tingling sensation spreading across their scalp by mid-morning. That is not irritation. That is blood flow returning to areas that have been starved for years. Here is the exact protocol. Brew 1 cup of organic green tea, loose leaf or bags, either works. While it is still steaming hot, grate exactly 1 full inch of fresh ginger root directly into the cup. Let it steep for 5 minutes. You must drink it every single morning on an empty stomach. Why? Because food competes for your digestive resources. You want maximum absorption of those gingerols and EGCG before your body starts breaking down breakfast. And never, ever add milk or cream. The casein protein in dairy binds to the catechins in green tea and completely destroys up to 80% of the active compounds. Drink it plain, always. A massive warning here. Ginger on an empty stomach can cause mild heartburn in about 10% of people. It is completely harmless, called transient gastric warmth, and usually fades after 3 or 4 days as your body adjusts. If it really bothers you, eat a small banana 10 minutes before drinking. Also, green tea contains caffeine and vitamin K. If you are on blood thinners like warfarin or have a history of heart arrhythmia, you absolutely must consult your doctor before making this a daily habit. Within a week, you will notice the excessive shedding slow down. Check your shower drain. Within 4 to 6 weeks, the difference in thickness and scalp health is something you will visibly see in the mirror. Score: 10 out of 10. It is cheap, it works, and it treats the actual root cause of hair loss. So, how do you actually put all of this together? You need a system. Here is your exact 30-day follicle revival protocol. Every single morning, start with the green tea and ginger tonic. 1 cup. Empty stomach. No exceptions. This is your foundation. This is what stops the DHT and forces the blood vessels open from the inside. In the evening, you are going to rotate your topical treatments. 2 nights a week, commit to the raw onion juice and coconut milk mask. Yes, it smells. Yes, it is inconvenient, but it delivers the raw sulfur your hair desperately needs to rebuild keratin. On the other nights, use the rosemary and pumpkin seed oil micromassage for exactly 4 minutes before bed to keep that fascial tension loose and the circulation flowing. But listen to me. Consistency is everything. You cannot drink the tonic for 3 days, skip a week, and expect permanent results. You didn't lose your hair overnight, and you won't grow it back overnight either. I want you to do this. Take a close-up photo of your hairline and crown today under bright, clear light. Take another one in exactly 30 days. Same light, same angle. Pay attention to your shower drain. Notice the warmth returning to your scalp. Now, a mandatory medical warning. I am sharing natural health education, not prescribing medicine. If you are over 50, if you are on blood thinners like warfarin, If you take blood pressure medication, or if you are dealing with severe thyroid or hormonal imbalances, you must consult your primary care doctor before starting any of these protocols, especially the saw palmetto extract and the daily ginger tonic. Do not ever stop your prescribed medications without professional medical guidance. For decades, you have been told that hair thinning is just an inevitable part of getting older. That is a lie. You are not simply fighting aging. You are correcting a circulatory and nutritional collapse that modern diets and lifestyles created. Your body actually wants to heal. Your scalp wants to push out new hair. You just have to give it the exact raw materials it needs to get the engine running again. Start tomorrow morning. 1 cup of organic green tea, 1 inch of fresh ginger. Empty stomach. Your scalp will thank you. Your confidence will thank you. The real secret to hair growth isn't hiding in a $50 bottle of chemical shampoo. It's in consistent, targeted nutrition that tackles the problem at its biological root. By restoring microcirculation and fighting hormonal inflammation with powerful natural compounds like EGCG, sulfur, and gingerols, you are finally giving your follicles the exact environment they need to wake up and thrive. Remember, I am here to share natural health education based on clinical science, but your body is entirely unique. Always listen to it. If you have underlying health conditions, sensitive skin, or take daily medications, please take 5 minutes to run these protocols by your doctor first. Responsible healing is the most effective healing. If this video opened your eyes to a completely new way of treating hair loss, hit that like button so this information can reach more people who are struggling in silence. Subscribe to the channel for more science-backed natural remedies, and let me know down in the comments. Which of these remedies are you going to start tomorrow morning? Let's fix this together. I'll see you in the next video.